Hey everybody, my name is Terrorconn and you're watching Terrorconn Gaming. Today we're going to continue our journey on Satisfactory. If you've not checked out the other two episodes, feel free to go and check them out, otherwise I'll cover a couple of bits and pieces from episode 1 and 2 in this video. We'll also be looking at making a short 15 to 20 minute let's play or review of this game at some stage, so keep your eye out for that if you're not wanting to watch the 6 to 7 hours worth of footage we've already got recorded. The game we're playing today is Satisfactory. It holds a few similarities to the game Factorio if you've had a chance to play that. Otherwise, if you haven't, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's very similar to this, except more of a top-down view, but a very similar concept to the game. The purpose of this game is for us to explore this alien planet that we've landed on, harvest materials and study the wildlife, and export all of our data and materials into space. When we first started out, we were doing everything manually and started working our way towards automation. In part 1 we completed tier 0 in our hub, which is just down here, which unlocked a few bits and pieces for us to get started, such as our workbenches and smelters. Moving on to constructors and starting to move into power, which is the first major step to that automation. Then our conveyor belts to start bringing our materials from point A to point B. Then we moved on to our first automated miner and storage container. And then finally moving into unlocking the space elevator and putting another burner down to provide us with more power. In part 2 we covered tier 1 and tier 2, which is just a whole bunch of miscellaneous bits and pieces there, such as conveyor splitters, personal storage, a couple object scanners for us to find things all around the planet, as well as a couple new bits and pieces such as the assembler, which allows us to put multiple items into one factory for it to merge those two to create an item. As well as some obstacle clearance and some other methods for us to get around, as well as a cool little paint gun. Today we're going to be looking at finishing off the final tier that's available to us in the alpha, or at least the content that's available at the moment. So what we need to be looking at making is a space elevator and moving that to phase 1, which will unlock this last tier here, which we'll look at completing. The closed alpha is only available for one more day at the recording of this video. It's looking to be released mid to end of March. If you want to get yourself a copy, you can pre-order it now at the Epic Game Launcher. Let's get into it and finish off the last of the main content there. We're going to do a couple other bits and pieces as well. We're going to go and do some exploring. Have a little look around the scenery, see sort of how far we can go. We'll go explore up on some cliffs and what have you. Have a bit of a look around and see if there's anything else that we need to be making note of or having a try at before we lose access to the closed alpha. Now I'll be looking at playing this game with a few of the community members, so feel free to go and check us out on Facebook and like there, and keep an eye out for your chance to come and join in on some of the shenanigans on games like Factorio and Satisfactory, as well as a few other bits and pieces. Alright, so we've come across a little crashed ship here, and it looks like we've got a drop pod there, but we can't open it. Okay, so we need to bring some power out to here. Not sure if we want to run some lines or build a couple biomass generators there. Let's head back anyway, and let's queue up our space elevator first. So we've got copper being completely automated there. It's coming down into a smelter. So there's our copper line. At some stage we should probably split that into two and have two smelters working, because that's not fully efficient. We've got the splitting off into two constructors, coming back into a single line, and then feeding into a storage container here, which is holding a few for us. What we're going to do is we're going to press Q and select the space elevator. Now one of the features that they have in Satisfactory is the ability for us to mark a to-do list, which just throws the materials that we require on the right side of the screen there. So it makes it a wee bit easier for us to realise where we are and what's required. So what we'll do is we'll grab 400 of these rods and a couple hundred of those sheets. Now we need 50 more of those sheets and we'll be good to go. We still need about 1,000 copper wire, so about 250 left there. And we need 500 concrete as well. I don't think we've got any concrete. We've got chunks of concrete there. So this is where we can manually make a lot of the stuff rather than putting it through the automated process. So at some stage we'll look at putting a line down at the concrete and have it feeding into a constructor, which will automatically turn it into concrete for us. In part 2 we looked at making our fuel source a wee bit more efficient. So we've got a good old chainsaw here, which we'll go and knock down just a couple of these trees. What this does is it knocks them down, gives us leaves, wood, and some flower petals as well. And what we do is we turn this into biofuel, which we feed into our reactors, which I'll show you in just a second. I'll clear the last few of these. Alright. So here's the 3 generators we're using, and at the moment I don't think we're at 100% usage, but we can have a look by going into here. So we can see that it's fluctuating, and so those lower lines are sort of telling us that somewhere in the line there's one or several possibly constructors or smithers that are not doing anything. They're either waiting for product, or the miners have mined enough material that they've actually filled the conveyor belt and it's sitting at the smith, and the smith is not processing it fast enough, and so the miner is just temporarily shutting itself down and then bringing itself back online and then shutting itself back down. So we need to look at making that more efficient. We've got biofuel there. When we first started we had a biomass, which was just leaves and a few other bits and pieces. So we've got that here. So what we do is we just burn those leaves down into biomass. And the same with the wood as well. So we turn the wood into biomass, and from there we can turn it into biofuel. Biofuel is used by our little reactors there at the back, the 3 reactors I showed you, and is also used by our chainsaw as well. I'm sure later on there'll be a few other bits and pieces that need it, such as vehicles. So we'll make a few here. We'll make 300. There we go, and we'll go and put 100 in each, and that should tide us over for a good half an hour or so. Cool. Fantastic. Okay, so we need more concrete, so we'll pop down here. Actually, if I remember correctly, we only have one portable miner down there working on our stone pit. So what I might do is I might throw a heap down there, because I'm just not sure if automating the entire process is worth it. I don't know how much longer we're going to use concrete for. It uses quite a bit of resources for us to set up an automated line. So we'll pop down here. We've got one working, so we'll throw a few down. They're very cool to watch. So when we first started the game, we were doing everything manually like this, and we were chiseling away at the likes of limestone, and then we moved into these. Now these are just little manual, well, auto miners, but they still require quite a bit of manual intervention, so we had to come down and unload them every now and then, because they do, when they get to 100, they can hold 100 of the item that they're mining. So this one over here is stopped because it's full, and so we have to come down every now and then and empty those out. Grab a couple more leaves there. So after we do the space elevator, it's saying that we have to get the space elevator to some sort of tier 1 or something like that for us to unlock our next base upgrade. So complete space elevator phase 1. So I'm guessing when we build the elevator, it will have an upgrade system there, which we'll use and check out and get that all done. So we can unlock that last tier. So we'll manually make those concrete bags as we sort of just go along. I imagine we've got enough copper now. Have a look here. Yep, so there's enough copper for us to get through, and we still need quite a few of that, which we've now got. So what I can do now, just to be a little bit more efficient, is we can pop down here, jump into our constructor and change the recipe to concrete. And the same with this one here. Change that to concrete. I've got one more over here as well. I might change that to concrete as well. The reason I want to change that all to concrete is if I can get all three of those automated making concrete for me, I can just run back and forth between our little harvester army here and the constructors at the top there. Should probably go and empty out the inventory space first. Let's go and get one of them up and running at least. Alright, we'll load that up and they can pump out a few bags of concrete there for us, or cement. I'm going to pop up here and we'll deposit everything that is not related to the sky crane into our storage area. So the rest of that is all related. Cool. So we've got a few bags there being pumped out by our constructor. So we'll run down and we'll grab a couple stacks of concrete. Get those other two up and working as well. That's 185. That'll do. That is a new ore type. Haven't actually harvested any of this before, so we'll grab that while we're here. So there's different varieties or different, I guess, levels of those of ore that we come across. So we've got good old traditional copper and iron. I think we've come across coal on our journey as well. But there's also different qualities of each of those ore as well. So the one that we just finished chiseling away out there on the ground was pure. So every time we hit it with our little chisel, we got 6. Whereas this here is impure, so every time we hit it, we get 1. Because it's just a bit nastier. Ore. So we'll throw that into there. Come around here. Cool. Fantastic. So if you're wanting to see how we went about setting up all of this, this sort of concoction that we've got here, you can check that out in part 2. We had a very, very basic automated process in episode 1, but in episode 2 we changed it up a little bit because we wanted to have a centralized location that everything went to, so we didn't have to sort of run backwards and forth, running all the way down there all the time to gather any resources we wanted. And so this way here it just saves us a bit of time, a bit of heartache. Alright, so that is happily making everything that it needs to. This thing here is still making copper wire, like it's going out of fashion, which is good. So the fact that the lines there are gummed up a little bit lets us know that it's not running at 100%. It needs to be optimized a bit better, but we'll look at doing that some other stage. Check the fuel on these. They're all good to go for a while. So, sprint down here and we'll gather some more concrete. Looks like one of the constructors is finished finished burning through its 100. So we'll grab another beak full. Run the long way again. Sprint through all of the foliage. Alright. So, we'll load that up. We'll load that up. This one here's finished as well. Load that up. Alright. $49. So we'll come over here, we'll make a few ourselves as well. So we're still going to go over to that wreckage at some stage and pop that open. Maybe after we do the space elevator, we'll head over there with a couple biofuel canisters, a couple burners, and pop it open, see what's inside. Actually, what is required for us to make one of those? Oh yeah, we've got the necessary things. So they create 20 each. We need to make 2 of them. We need to make that as well, which we've got enough of, and we need a couple of fuel, which we have none on us. Oh, I don't need a large amount. We'll take a stack. That'll do. Right, let's sprint over here. We'll let everything just sort of tick on without us. I'm going to go and pop that canister open and see what's inside of it. If I remember correctly, it's just over the rise here. We'll switch to our weapon here. So combat is with this little tiny taser, or kettle prodder. We've got a little bug over there on the tree. We'll go and grab that as well. Green power slug. Fair enough. So we've got a little hostile creature over there, but we don't need to head in that direction. Just take a bit of a look though. Yeah, we've got a few there. One of them spotted us, so he might come and give us some grief in a moment. Just trying to remember whereabouts. There it is. Okay, so we need to build 2 power generators. Wire them up to that. We'll see if there's any other material here. Can't break any of that down. There's a motor there, we'll take that. Alright, so 2 biomass generators, or burners, sorry. Put them there. We'll do that. We'll connect these 2 together. And we're missing cable. We'll just have to sprint all of that distance just for a little tiny bit of cable. I think that's probably one of my only complaints about the game so far, is not being able to craft basic material on hand. I guess it makes sense in a way. I don't know anyone who can take a copper ingot with their bare hands and break it down into a wire. So I guess it makes a bit of sense. So we'll jump in here. a couple of cables. That should do. I think if I remember it was sort of more in that direction there. Yep, there it is. Alright, so we want to run a power line from there to there, from there to there, and from there to there. We want to split that stack in half, put half in there, and half in there. So the reason why it's just done that is that we've hooked everything up. The pod requires us to have 40 megawatts of power, and because we only had one hooked up and had fuel on one, it immediately put 20 megawatts up the line, and it wasn't enough to feed it, so it's blown the fuse. So all we have to do is pull that lever. It should kick back into life. Now we can open this, pull the handle, and we've got a hard drive which we can analyze back at our base. Now we can whip everything back up because it's not required anymore. We can leave that there. Okay, analyze that hard drive. That'll cross that off. So while we've been doing that, there should have been possibly a good 60 or 90 bags of concrete made, so we'll go grab them as well. In this game as well, we've checked it out a couple of times in episode 1 and 2. When you hold down C here, we can look for material types on this wheel. When we let go, sends a little pulse out to find the material, and then we get a little ping on our compass up the top, 400 meters away, 100 meters away, 400 meters away. So if we're ever looking for any sort of material, we can do that. Alright, we've got 116 concrete there. I'm going to run inside and analyze the hard drive. It's going to take 10 minutes. So we'll analyze that now. We need to go down and get more concrete powder. Set that up on our line again, and one more run through should be able to get most of what we're looking for. I think we're going to have a hard time here. 1, 2. Alright. Jump into this thing, throw that there. Throw another 100 into that one. And throw another 100 into there. So while that's all doing that, we'll just explain a couple of things with this. So that's our auto miner. As long as we keep power up to it, it'll just sit there and churn away at copper, at iron, sorry. Comes down into our line here, it comes into a smelter, which is turning it into its respective ingot. Goes along our little line here into a storage container, and the reason I like putting storage containers on the line itself is that whenever it backs up like this, because we're using that for something else, or if that is struggling to keep up with production, we've got a centralized location that we can come and grab the raw ingredient and go and manually make it, or build another constructor and quickly throw them into it. So I've done the same on all lines in every direction, including the copper over the other side of our base. Just so we've got this one little spot to collect from. So these are concrete bags marching up the line. We'll get rid of whatever we don't need into our storage again. So we don't need the bug. We don't need that or that. We don't need reinforced. We don't need leaves, or petals, or fruit, or wood. There's another sneaky one piece of concrete. Alright. So, 19. So we've got to about 82 there. Left for us to be able to make our space elevator. And we'll find out what we need to satisfy there, so that we're able to unlock that final tier. And then we'll go for a little bit of an explore. We'll possibly go and have a look at heading over to the ridge over there. Take a bit of food with us and our trusty taser. And we'll see how far we can actually travel. Maybe go and check out a few of those bits and pieces up there. Be cool to ride around on one of those stingray things, that's for sure. Alright, so could have sworn my base was blue when we jumped on today, but that's alright. I'll grab the paint gun. Quickly throw that on. There we go. That's better. The very well used paint gun. When we 3D printed it, or made it, it was already dirty. So, very, very cool detail on it though. They've done very well with it. And so down the very bottom left we can see the loaded ammo, and we've got the colours and such. When we hold down right click we get this little pop up here, which leads me to think that at some stage we're probably going to get some sort of palette of colours for us to choose from. Which would be pretty cool. Alright, that should be more than enough, or getting close to it. Need 18 more, and production has stopped. So we'll sprint on down here, maybe grab a more aggressive weapon out just in case we jumped. That should be enough. Copper wire still going strong. And we'll just manually whip up the last few there. Very exciting. I haven't made the space elevator yet, so I'm interested to see what it looks like. Space elevator. Whoa, okay, so that's of moderate proportion. I don't know how I want to go about making that. I didn't expect it to be that big. Yeah, okay, I'm sort of the air should be fine, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how big this thing is. Whoa. Yep, that's big. That is huge. Very, very cool. Oh, it's doing something. Oh, there's something coming down. Is it going to catch it? Catch it with its little leg arm things. Very, very cool. Oh, we're still going. That is awesome. That's so cool. Oh, I can't get over how big that is. That's massive. Alright, so let's find out how we can use it. Game _ phase _ name. Space elevator resource delivery 1. Delivery will unlock tier 3 and 4 but it's only going to unlock 3 because 4 is closed at the moment in the alpha. So we're currently in the load resources stage, so what we need is we need reinforced iron plates, and I believe they're rotors. So we haven't made any rotors, we've made reinforced plates before. So let's find out what's required to make both of those. A rotor is screws and iron rods. And that's screws and iron sheets. So we need to start our production line back up here. We need to head to this thing and change that to iron rods, which it originally was on. So the reason we've got 2 running iron rods here is that an iron rod only requires 1 material to make, whereas an iron sheet requires 2 material to make. And so one constructor can churn through one nice and quickly. And so we had, last time when we had just one constructor making rods, we found that there was a lot of backlog because we were producing iron ingots faster than we were making singular rods, so we got 2 guys up and running. Now the constructor over the other side that's making sheets is able to make sheets fast enough to be able to keep up with the line. So we'll just let that do its thing. So it's just running nice and smoothly over there, just no downtime. So the same with this one here, now that we've put it into 2. There's no downtime. So those things there are just going to keep going for the rest of their days on the provider that we manage to keep fuel up to them. So we'll quickly check our supplies there. We've got about 100 left, so we can leave that for now. So we need to mass produce plates and rods because we have to make screws for both the rotors and the reinforced iron plates. A little bit of me is tempted to go and find another location that we can burn some more iron out of, just to help with that. So we go for a little bit of an explore. What material is that? Limestone pure. The seal whale giraffe makes another guest appearance. Green gases over there are poisonous. I've already tested that one out. That was an enjoyable time. Let's pop up here. Oh, actually, what I should be doing is pressing C and searching for iron ore that way. 200, 300. Alright, so we've got something 200 meters this way. It's totally going to be on top of that cliff, or it's going to be that little tiny cluster there. Hopefully that cluster's on top of something. If it is, we'll put another miner on it. And we'll bring that back to our base as well. We'll run some lines. Yes, fantastic. Oh, there's 3. Oh, beautiful. So, oh, it's pure as well. Oh, absolutely love it. So we're getting 6 per swing there. Or 4 in that case, by the looks of it. Let's have a look. 6. So we'll make 3 auto miners real quick. If the ground ones are pure, no, they're normal. And what's this other one? That's normal as well. And what's this one here? That's normal as well. So what we can do with those is we can set up 2 smelters on each one of these, and it should be able to keep up with it. We've got our copper line sitting on a normal as well. We've got our copper sitting on a normal as well, and one smelter is just struggling to keep up with the production. So we need to work backwards from here. So, to start out with, we need 3 of those. So we need some more concrete. We need 15 concrete. So we'll start with that. I'll grab that on the way. We're going to steal 3 of these miners as well, because we don't need 6 of them running anymore. So we'll take that. Take that. And take that. We'll quickly whip up some concrete bags. And we'll head on down and make the auto miners. Just want to double check that that is normal. Yep, that's normal. Yeah, so one smelter really isn't keeping up with it. There should be nice little gaps there, or it should be at least moving non-stop. So it's not running at 100% efficiency. I think when we look at the things as well, we can see there that it's only 63% efficient. And this thing here will be running even lower, I'd say 40%. So we really need 2 smithers, but we won't worry about that. We've got more than enough copper for now, at least anyway. I'd say we're going to need to build another biofuel as well for what we're wanting to do, but we'll whip them up very quickly. It'll be done before we know it. So we're looking at a few concrete, because we have to put some wiring in too. We need to grab a couple wire and turn it into a few cables. I need to come here and I need to take all of that. I'll have to come back for more of that too. I think what I'll do is I'll put maybe 2 of these on sheets and 1 on rods. Let's get started with this. Let's just do... What's in that direction? Yeah, that's fine. This one here can just come straight out. And so can that one. Right. Actually, that's just going to annoy me. That one. It can go there too. Alrighty. We don't really have enough room for us to do our entire setup just here. So maybe we do need to point them in different directions, but we'll figure that out as we go. So we'll start with the furthest away one. The first thing we need to do is we need to split that by going into logistics and doing conveyor splitters. So we're going to do the exact same thing for all 3. Cool. Fantastic. And we'll do the same for this thing as well. Stunning. Might as well connect those now. Alright, so they're going to come out and then they've got 3 different directions they can head down. But for us, not wanting to go far with them, we're going to go straight into 2 smelters on each one. They're not going to be lined up, but that's okay, hopefully. No, that's definitely not okay, that one. I did it again. Just a little tricky to look at it from a non-top down. Yes, that's just too sharp. Let's bring them out quite a bit more. trying to save on space and I really shouldn't. See, now we've just gone the complete opposite. That's ridiculous. That'll do. I'm happy with that. Maybe that's the way to do it. If we find the edge and then bring it to the side. Yeah, that's fine. That works. Alright. Encroaching on clearance. Well, I mean, that is kind of the point. How is it encroaching on clearance? Alright. Let's make it so that it doesn't do any of that silly stuff anymore. Let's just do a straight line from there. And now a little green line comes up when it's lined up perfectly. There it is. And at the last second we move the mouse, but that's okay. Alright, that's better. How's it encroaching? It's literally meant to do that. Okay. Is this the problem? Is it... If we... This is just encroaching straight into clearance. Was the other one encroaching? Yes. I think we're going to have to do a double split just because there's a little bug in the game. That's okay. Actually, let's bring... Yeah, so it's the area that it's on. The mass of where the miner is on. So, logistics, conveyor splitter, and we're going to bring it out quite a bit. And, of course, put it the wrong way. Orange arrow facing us. That'll do. Let's see you encroach now. You little beastie. Alright. Production. That's one. That's two. One straight into there. Two straight into there. Okay. Now we're cooking. So I think the amount of ore that's going to come in, we need to then split it off again. To go into two constructors. So, production, constructors. We are missing reinforced. That's fine. Let's put a... Well, let's grab the leaves there first. Logistics, conveyor. That'll do. Alright. That's fine. Now, let's do something very similar with this one. Not encroaching that time, that's fine. We will go production and we'll do smelters. There. there. Make sure we can connect them up, which we can. And then we need a splitter. Like so. So that we can come around to there. We're going to put two constructors onto this one as well. Everything's getting two constructors. Okay. And we'll connect that up too. Right, we need reinforced, which is fine. So they're going to come out and they're going to go into there, and that is going to go into there. They're then going to come out of this side and that side into two constructors, and that one's going to go this side and that side into two constructors. We're going to do right side and middle for that one. We're going to do left side and this side for that one. Cool. I'll quickly set up this last one here as well. Make sure nothing encroaches. So if we do a conveyor belt and encroaching. So we'll get rid of that and get rid of that. Q conveyor belt system. We'll give it a bit of space there so it can sort its issues out. And that should allow us to do what we need to do now. So, Q production. I've got enough to make the last two smiths that we need for the line. Smith. There. And there. Alright, then coming out of there, you guessed it, another splitter. And a splitter out of there. Stunning. Connect the dots very quickly. And that's all connected too, and those are all connected. Okay, we need a heap of reinforced steel. Or reinforced iron, so we'll quickly grab these three. And that is almost good to go. Need to make a whole heap of reinforced stuff. So we'll come here and we'll grab that and that. We'll just go over here and mass produce screws to make reinforced iron for our constructors. So we're going to put 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12 constructors over there, and then we're going to run some lines into a more centralized location for us to pull them out of a container, or 2 or 3, probably 3 containers I'd say. I'm going to have to grab some more iron sheets as well to keep making those conveyor belts. We need to run electricity down there as well, which means we're going to have to build a couple more biomass plants. Let's see if we've got what it takes now to make... Yep, we do. 12. We need a few more. I'd rather go overkill than underkill, so let's grab another stack. Let's go down here and do some more screws. That'll do. That should be enough. Hopefully. I'm going to come back anyway to do biomass generators, so we can grab more of those later on if we need them. Got 60 fuel left, which is good. So with that fuel, we'll go on a bit of a fuel spree in a little bit, because we're going to have to build a few biogenerators up there to run some power down here. And so we'll go and knock down a forest or two as well. So we'll start at the far end, where it's a wee bit more packed. And we'll build a constructor. I forgot to make cables. Not so much too concerned if those don't line up. It'd be nice if we can get them to, but no lost sleep if we can't. That's fine. Alrighty. It's going to be a very, very tight fit there. So Q constructor. That'll do. Yeah, see, I'm a little bit concerned so with that one there. So what I might do is I might maybe try and stagger that one, I guess. Can we clip it into here? Is there any room at all? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put these side by side. That's fine. You can come around into there and you can go across into there. That works. I've got enough room there to sneak a conveyor belt past. Didn't want to put it out this side because we've still got to be able to get into this one. I'm a little concerned that we're not going to have enough room to fit one in there. So, let's have a look. Looks like we can. Very, very little room for error. So it's still got to fit one in here. And I think we've just got enough room to put it in. Just. Goodness me, that is a tight fit. Alright. Ha! Yeah, that's about right. So, let's get this one plugged in anyway. And we'll figure this one out. I think all it is that it's just turning too viciously too all of a sudden. So if we stagger this one out, say to there, there we go. It gives it a bit more of a natural curve there. Alright. Two constructors there. We can do one out the middle there and one out the right side. with no problems. I just don't think we've got the resources to do what we need to do. 3, 6, 9, 12. We've got enough reinforced. Or do we? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. No, we need one more reinforced iron and a whole bunch of cable. All right. Take that. Build a few cables. And we'll build a few screws. Alright, definitely need... I've already got a few of those. We'll build quite a few of this. And we've got a couple of bags of concrete, which is good. Alright, let's pop back down there and get this all done. That's all fine. Alright. So, that's fine. We've got a little bit of a gap there. Need to build other way around. There is a tree in the way. Have I got my chainsaw on me? Probably not. No, because we haven't used the chainsaw in a wee while. Q. Construction, constructor, sorry. Will do. Another one complete. That won't end well, so we won't go out that side, we'll go this side here. Encroaching. All right, that works. Okay. So, let's worry about just getting production up and running first. So we'll come over here. go to logistics. We'll go to conveyor belt merger. And bottom one here. That's fine, so that one there's all good to go. Right, so the thing I worked out that I want to set that one to copper, iron rod, that one to iron rod, that to iron, that to iron, that to iron rod, and that to iron rod. This one here is going to be a little bit easier to do, which is good. Storage container, other way. Perfect. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we're going to need 140 megawatts of power. Actually, they're 5 each. 5 megawatts and 5 megawatts. We'll call it 5. So each line has, so that's 20 megawatts in constructors alone. 30 with that. 35, so 40 megawatts, so two generators per line. 2, 4, 6, we need to build 6. Need to build 6 in total. And I don't think I'm going to run a wire all the way down. What I'll do is I'll build a little external power supply just for these guys. I'll tuck it over here, I think. Power. This is where all the fun happens, because we have to link all of them together. Now we need to come back to a centralized hub. We need to run through here, and we need to go to your respective line, to your respective line, to your respective line, to the respective hub. Respective line, respective line, respective line, respective hub. Alright, so that is all of our power. Now we need sort of one of these per, and then one start location one as well. So at the top we'll put one of those. these two. Alright, so if we bring the centralized hub to a central point, from the central point it can go out to there, up to there, out to there, back to there. Actually, we probably don't need that one there, could probably go. They can go to there. Alright, so they can connect to you can connect to there. 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 You can connect to there, and you can connect to there. Alright, that's that one done. And that's just all to make rods. So need to plonk another one down here. Another one down here. Another one here. Another one here. Another one there. Another one there. And another one there. That should be all we need for power there. So it's almost final touches. And we're all good to go. We just need to make sure everything's all connected up. Logistics. Three inputs, one output. Conveyor belt number one to the side there. That'll do, that's fine. Or maybe not. Because it's a weird shape. So I know that that's what the green line's for. But sometimes that green line's just very, very fickle. Alright, that's going into there, that's going into there. Whip one up very quickly for this one. Logistics, merge point. There's methods to my madness, I promise. You from there to Counterfort, of course. Was a matter of time. We need to grab our chainsaw while we're up there too. So we'll grab that because we need to whop up some fuel. Everything's still moving along up here. So what we'll do is we'll look at the resources that we've got here and see what we can work towards our little goal there. So we're missing platforms, so we'll grab, or plates, so we'll grab those. Grab a couple more of these. Whip up a few more cables. Let's take all of that. Just quickly whip up all of the biofuel that we can. Load them into those machines in anticipation for the lines to start up. We'll build a couple more storage units down there. Probably about 10 minutes away from finishing up that external mining venture. They can go on there, they can go on there, they can go on there. Paint gun can definitely go on there. as much fuel as we can, load them into the 6 or so burners that we've got down there, roar them into life. Sure, we're probably going to need more than what we've got down there, that's for sure, but we'll see how we go. We'll pop down there now. Since we're at this side of the mouse, we'll just quickly whip this one up as well. 3, you around to there, you around to there. Throw down a storage container, rotate the other way. Good enough. It probably won't though, yeah. So frustrating. That green line is just so fickle. It's just barely there. There it is. Got it that time. That's all fine. Those are all connected. That's connected. Whip this one up quickly as well, since we're here. Converger. Don't know how we're going to go with this one. I don't know if that's too vicious of a turn. Looks like it's okay. Organize, rotate. That'll do, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Oh, yep. Just trying to figure out why there was a random merger thing there, and remember that's where we left off. Storage container. Alright, now we should have storage containers at the end of each one of those. We just have to wire it up, fuel it up, and send it on its way. So, these are the ones. We're going to set them all to iron as well. And that's the sound of our base shutting down in the distance, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. And these things here are going to make plates like crazy. Make plates, please. Plate. Plate. Make an iron ingot. Make an iron ingot. Plate. 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 Alright, now to wire this all up. We should have one extra to bring across to there. We should have one, two, Boink. Alright. That connects to that one. That connects to here. That connects to here. That connects to here. That to there, that connects to there, that connects to there, that connects to there, that connects to there. That connects to there, that can connect to that one can connect to that one, this can connect to that, and that one can connect to this one as well. I thought we had one extra. Alright, now I absolutely know that I've forgotten at least one, or I've done something silly like link the buildings instead. So we've got a spare one there. That all looks fine. I mean, everything looks okay. So let's split that, load in 50 and put it on standby. Actually no, we'll leave it on, and if it needs to break down it can break down, that's fine. Alright, so we've got green, that's producing, that's now splitting, that'll go green, that's all producing, that's all producing, that's waiting for product, that's got product, those are all waiting for product. Alright, so we're underway. It's officially begun. Let's head back. We forgot our little chainsaw, but what we'll do is we'll break a whole bunch of leaves down on the way, get our main base up and running, and start gathering resources to send away in our sky elevator or space elevator. Just the sheer size of that thing is just incredible. Alright. Feed the little base. Take the little chainsaw. We should have enough here to make hopefully 300 biofuel. Yep. Perfect. If we could get 600 that would be amazing, but dreams are free. Okay, so make a few of these, make 300, store a bunch of stuff, go and cut some trees down for fuel. We need to look at making our reinforced items now as well. 200. Alright, so we'll come in here and we'll split that in half, feed 50% into there, 50% into there, 50% into there, and re-jumpstart the fuse. Well, that goes again. Alright, we'll throw the chainsaw on, we'll pop into here. We'll just store everything that we can. Just go and whack some trees down so that we've got a bit of fuel for the future. And of course I need to take a little bit of biofuel with me to feed the beast. Biomass there. Grab a few biofuel. So for each tree we knock down it uses one biofuel, so we'll take probably about 100. Not that we'll use that much, but we'll take 100 with us anyway. We'll just get rid of some of this croppy outgrowth stuff outside the base as well while we're here. Cool. These things just look like Trents that are just waiting to just come alive. Trents. like how the chainsaw is like this little AoE attack. You hit one tree and there's a chance that you can clear some trees around it. Alright, we'll knock this one here over as well, and that should be enough to tide us over for a bit, I think. Yeah, that'll do for now. Clear these on the way. Alright. Cool. So we've got a bit of biofuel for a little bit there. Yeah. Heaps. Now we only put 50 into each one down at the mining op, so we'll make a few of that. Just to take down with us next time we head down, which will be to clear out the storage. We need to go and make sure that that's all running properly as well. So we'll build 300 of this, maybe. Add another 50 into each. We've got the container beside us that we also need to check out, see how that's going for production, and then we're going to start mass producing reinforced everything. Chainsaw can probably go off now and be replaced with... Where did I put my little taser? There it is. Alright. Let's have a look here. I'm going to take all of this, or a large portion of that, and turn them straight into screws. That'll do. Now both of the recipes that we need to make, so both the motor and the reinforced iron plate need screws. So I've no doubt that we're going to probably end up making the 4,000 screws that they've got there. Make 1,000 of those, we'll head down to our other base and see how that's all looking. Make sure everything's running, load them up with a little bit more fuel and forget that they exist for a bit. We've got 1 miner, 2 miner, 3 miners, 2 bellows of smoke. As long as we've got green lights on everything, so we've got a yellow light there, or we did briefly for a moment there. Okay, so it's only just ever so slightly running below efficiency, but that's okay. Rather have more machines than what we actually need. See, the line should be running a bit more like that, which is awesome, and that's all working too. So we'll split that. You can have that much. I thought I made 300 of the biofuel, but I just realised that I ended up cramming it all into my storage. So this thing here's got a few already. That one there's got a few already as well. So we'll head over here and we'll grab a couple sheets. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to plonk a few of these down, and I'm just going to store everything but take out whatever isn't a rod. Build up for a while. Take all of these, which are all sheets, all the sheets from that one. All the sheets from that one. And we've already emptied all that out, so we'll jump up here, use the little ladder. Cool. So we'll take all those first. We'll take as much of that as we can hold. We'll sprint back to base and we'll leave that to run for a little bit. We need to come back with a wee bit more fuel, but let's start making reinforced iron plates. Alright. We got 42 reinforced plates there. But I have a feeling that we would probably make quite a few more. What I'm going to do is put a few of those in there for now. Yeah, if we keep making screws, I'm sure we can make quite a few more. I don't remember what the number was for the reinforced iron plates. 75 iron plates. So we'll just make all the material we need to make 75 iron plates, and we'll do them first. $60. 70. 75. Alrighty, so that's going to take a little bit of time there, which is okay. It gives our production lines a chance to take a bit of the bulk on. So after this we need to make 50, we'll scroll down as well, see how we're looking on that. We need to make 50 rotors. Now they are screws and iron rods, I believe. Almost done with the reinforced iron plates. Now the reason I wanted to build that line is that when we unlock the next tier, I'm sure we're going to require quite a bit of resources, and I want to burn through it nice and quick. So we need to make a heap more screws, and we'll just keep going until we've got 50 rotors there in brackets. Just past 25 there. Interested to see what sending that space elevator away is going to look like too. 40, 45, 50. Perfect. So if we had a bit more time, we would put a few assemblers in line. We would set up a line that would take rods and turn them into screws, and then another line that would take, so down where we did our huge production line, we would take one of those rod lines and turn it into a screw line, and then we would have one rod and one screw feeding into an assembler, which takes two items and merges them together to make one. So we've got our 50 rotors now and our 75 plates, so we'll load them in, and then we have to pull it down to seal, and then pull it down to send. Is it going to do anything chaotic? Is it going to slingshot anything? No, that's it. It just... Fair enough. Alright, so those are the next things that's required for us to unlock tier 5 and tier 6. However, that's not available in the alpha, so we won't worry about chasing up those. What we'll do is we'll pop in here and see if anything's unlocked. Alright, so we've got the last two things here that we can unlock in our alpha testing. So we've got a tractor, a truck station, a coal generator, and the ability for us to scan for coal. So the tractor, 25 slot inventory, has built-in crafting bench, can be automated to pick up and deliver resources at truck stations. Oh, that's fantastic. So we could take that down, build a truck station here, build a truck station down below, have trucks driving back and forth, picking up and all that other good stuff, and the coal generators, which is what the fuel will probably be for the truck. And then the Mark II conveyor belt can transfer up to 120 resources per minute, which is better than the ones we've got at the moment. I think there's 60 per minute or 40 per minute. And the conveyor pole stacker, which I don't know what that does, but we'll get these two unlocked anyway. Probably they're both sort of the same size. So we'll set that milestone first. We should have enough to make, or we should have enough to basically complete these two tiers almost right away. So we'll get them done. We'll spend a couple of minutes there having a play around with some of the that new stuff. Build a truck station, see what it does, have a bit of a look, and build anything else that we're sort of missing as well. So we'll build 25 of those, 25 rotors, and we should have 1500 copper wire laying around. Our copper line's been running for a wee while now and we've taken nothing from it, so I'm expecting it to have quite a bit of stock. So we'll build our 25 for that. Now we have to build 25 rotors as well. And these are 20. What's happening? Oh, it's going backwards because we need to grab another scoop of that. There we go. 25. Coming up. That'll get that tier done pretty much right away. We should better burn the next one as well, and then we can just spend just a little bit of time, have a quick look through any buildings that we've sort of missed, look at building them nice and quickly so that we can check them out. So we've got, there's our 150 just like that. Load that in and send our little starship away, which is just sitting on the roof. Punch it, Chewie.
Milestone reached. Long-range transportation, as well as the construction of outposts, is now encouraged. An increased focus on the explore and exploit.
Don't crash into that. You're going straight at it. Okay, maybe that thing's a lot further away than I thought it was. Alright, so that's that stage done. So these here we unlocked at a in part 2. We won't look at having a look at those today. You can get this sort of idea of what they can do for you. If we were to play on this map a bit longer, we would let's make one. Let's see what happens. We're probably going to just go kasplat. Let's just quickly make 2 reinforced plates. Probably don't have 600 of that available. We will in a second. 200, sorry. So we've got enough to make that now, which I might point in the direction of our setup over there, and we'll just run a quick wire. I don't want to jump on it because I don't really have a soft landing for it just yet. I don't know what the range is on this thing. So we do have a jelly landing pad. which will plonk down like, I don't know. I don't know how far this thing's going to launch us, so I feel like putting it all the way over there is just incredibly optimistic. But we'll see how this goes. One of two things are going to happen. We're going to just eat dirt, or we're going to land on that jelly pad all the way over there. Yep, it was way too optimistic. Splat. Alright, we died. But that's okay. We'll go to our death point and see what all that looks like as well. It's probably... It's the first time we've died, so... Right, so you drop all of your loot when you die. Now... You, jelly pad thing, are a little upsetting because... You didn't go... nearly as close as I wanted you to go. We died next to this little rock here, if I remember correctly. So let's throw a jelly pad there and see what a jelly pad actually does. So I'm not seeing any jelly in it, but I'm assuming that there is actually jelly in it. In the alpha. Let's go and land in it and see what happens. Alright, I'm hoping that was the right rock. Again, we're going to find out in a second. Oh no, did I undershoot it? Okay, so the jelly pad doesn't work properly at the moment, because I got it right in the 10 ring and still ate dirt. So, let's, which base shut down? Oh yeah, main supply. That's fine. I'm just going to go and grab everything. Okay, so the jelly thing either doesn't work or... Oh no, it requires power, maybe? Is that why it didn't work? It requires power. That is fantastic. Okay, so... Have I got a free power line anywhere here that I could just quickly dart across? I do. Let's go. You can go there, you can go there, and then you are totally not going to make it all the way over there. Oh, you are. Just. Alright, have we got any biofuel on us? We do not. We'll head back to base, make a whole bunch of that, and boot our base back up. We might actually have enough resources to make everything that we actually need to make to do that last logistics stage. So we'll grab a whole bunch of this. Sprint on back to base. This base is still going. Probably for not too much longer. Oh no, that's alright. It's doing okay. I'll grab all of that wood and turn it into biofuel. Okay, so we've got one more tier left to research, which we might do before we take all of this fuel down. We'll build 300 of it now. $150. So we'll put 600. That'll allow us to put 100 in each, and that'll keep it going for a while. So we'll go to 300 first and stop for a bit of a break. I'm going to go over here, grab a couple of these, turn them into screws. Let's flag our next milestone, which is this one here. And so we need to make 20 reinforced iron plates and 20 rotors and another 1500 copper wire. $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20. As we'll keep going until it says we've got 40, and then we know we've got enough for the rotors. Okay. 20 of those. Of these, and our airship's just landing in 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Perfect timing. And that's everything we need. We'll just make sure he is back. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. There we go. It's everything researchable.
Milestone reached. We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation.
We won't see that thing again for 7 minutes. We've researched everything though that we can in the hub for the alpha. It ticks across the board now for everything. We still have a couple of bits and pieces that we could do in the alpha, but we're not going to get too carried away with them. The 500 modular frames and 100 motors, which I don't think we have the recipe for motors, so it sort of stops us in our tracks there. A good supply of copper wire there that is just sort of stockpiled. Put that stuff there, and of course we've got our little base just over the ridge there as well. So we'll get a few more fuel built, we'll go down and feed the machines. We'll quickly whip up a watchtower and have a look at what a watchtower does. We'll whip up an assembler and have a bit of a look at that. Maybe get it to build a couple reinforced iron plates for us, just so we can get a bit of an idea of how that all works. Build ourselves a truck stop and maybe a truck, and see if we can get it to go from point A to point B. If we've got time for all of that, we'll check it out. Otherwise, it's the sort of stuff we'll check out when the game is released later on this month. We don't have power down there. I was thinking about using the launcher, but then I remembered there's no jelly in the pad. We'll just die again, so we'll just run with our little hands waving in front of us. Alrighty, we'll load this up. And 100 there, and engage that. Alright, so let's build our little lookout tower, maybe at the top of something, just to get a little bit of leverage, or a little bit better of a view. We didn't get a chance to go and have a look at the cliff that we were hoping to earlier on. Video's already going to be about 3 hours or so as it is, so, or thereabouts. Looks like it's the sort of thing though that we can travel all the way out there. Don't see any huge restrictions on how far we can go. I think we can probably go as far as the eye can see, but that it's probably somewhat limited in the alpha, but I'd say in the release we should be able to travel almost as far as the eye can see. Sprint up here very quickly. I'm just going to build a little watchtower here, if it'll let us. Yep, it will. So we'll build one of those we'll go and climb that. So we unlocked this a little earlier on in one of our earlier episodes there. And so it's just purely for you to get a bit more of an overview of your setup. There's no sort of top-down view in this game like there is in Factorio, so this is really as top-down as you're going to get. And so you can see there everything just sort of working away, the rendering distance causing a little bit of lag. Here's our jelly pad, which we need to go and try out now. So we'll see a little bit up the valley there. So it's a beautiful world that they've made. They've done a fantastic job with it. Very, very happy, and try not to die like that. Where's a jelly pad when you need one? Can I descend the cliff by going from ledge to ledge? Probably not. Nailed it. Okay. We'll grab a couple resources while we're here. Oh, actually we've got a fair amount back at base. I'm going to jump into that jelly pad. It's probably one of the last things we'll do, if there's still power running to it when we finish up. So, we've built the watchtower there. Let's build a assembler very quickly. So we've built all of that other stuff. We're not so much worried about the walkways, ramps, and all those other bits and pieces. We've built all of the stuff logistically except for the 2.0 or the Mark II belt. We get the idea with the belt that it just is really just going to make everything go a bit faster. We've got a coal generator there that provides us with 50 megawatts of power, which absolutely just smashes out of the park the biomass burners. But then it's coal only, and I think we've got the ability to ping for coal now. But we're not going to go and set an entire coal operation up. So I just pinged for coal and we didn't get... Oh, there we go, we've got a couple bites. 600 meters away in most directions. So we're not going to worry about making a coal generator. We haven't made an assembler. So we'll quickly maybe have a look at whipping one of those up. We've got the vehicles as well. And the little truck. I don't think we can make any of that stuff manually. I think it all has to be done with vehicles. So we might, or with constructors. So we might maybe just leave it there. We'll go and check this little jelly thing out. I want to see if we bounce or... Alright. And... Oh, that's awesome. No bounce or anything. You just sort of fall into it and then that's it. Very cool though. It's a shame that when we were putting it down it didn't sort of give us a bit of a distance or an arc with the launch pad to sort of let us know where it's going to be landing. But either way that's going to be pretty good fun later on. So, managed to check everything out. The only things we didn't get a chance to check out there was the truck station. So the truck station, the tractor, sorry, and the truck station. So the tractor is just that 25 slot inventory, has a built-in craft bench, which means we don't have to run back to base all the time. It can be automated to pick up and deliver resources at truck stations, and so we can deposit items in one truck station. The tractor can pick it up and take it to another. And then the truck station is either send or receive resources to vehicles. Has an inventory with 48 slots, transfers up to 120 slots per minute to or from a docked vehicle. Also refuels vehicle if it has access to a matching fuel type. As much as I'd love to build that little truck station, I don't think we have what we need to make the modular. Let's whip that up. Let's whip up a little truck station and the little tractor. I just want to see what they look like. We're not going to send it out to do anything. I'd love to see how the pathing works for it at some stage, whether it either just teleports or flies from a truck station to another truck station, or whether it actually just auto paths, and are we going to see some tractors rolling down some cliffs? Modular frame requires a few reinforced plates there, so we'll get a couple of those whipped up. Modular frame. How much is it for? Okay, so we need 2 of those. 1. 2. So that's everything for a tractor. We need to make a little rotor there. So we need to make, I think it was 10. Make 10 anyway. And then a couple of beacons. I'm trying to remember how we make the beacons. I think they're in our equipment bench over here. Yeah, they are. How many beacons do we need? 5 beacons. What's needed for a beacon? Everything is needed for a beacon. What are we running low on? Cable. That's 4 beacons. What are we running low on? Copper wire. Grab some copper wire very quickly. Hop in here. Oh no, we don't need to. We need to just go straight here. Alright, so we've now got enough to make a little tiny tractor. So we'll whip. Well, it's not really little or tiny. It's quite big. E to open the workbench, fuel tank. Oh, it's got a fuel tank and we can drive it. That is awesome. Let's... Do we have any coal whatsoever? We do not. Does it run on anything other than coal? Yes. Yes it does. And the crafting bench there. E to drive the tractor. We're away. Look at us. We're mobile. After we've completed everything. Oh, everything's shutting down. Let's take this thing over the cliff and see what happens to it. Vroom. This is just awesome. That's so cool. So it's not recording. Down the very bottom right, we can see not recording. And auto pathing, no. So I'm guessing you can do your own little auto pathing from... I'm guessing you can do your own... Oh, I've run out of fuel, so it's just going to coast there into the wall. I'm going to build a truck stop as the last thing there. So we're going to open the workbench and the crafting bench, and we'll mass produce some screws. We should have everything we need here. So let's add to docking to do list. We need to make 2 more motors. We need to make 20 or so cables. And the modular frame, which requires quite a bit of stuff, so we'll come over here and we'll grab a stack of that, which we don't really need that, we need the rods more than anything. Grab the berries there. Alright, and you require reinforced, and we need 10 of them. Do you need... Oh, you need 3, so we need quite a few. Start with 10. Alright. So we need about 30 or so reinforced iron plates, which we can do that. Make some fuel and fill up our tractor here as well. So we can take that for a little bit of a hoon after we've set up the truck station. 20. A couple extra just in case. Maybe. Just having a look in the background there at the tractor, it's just some incredible detail that's just gone into it. Just the grime on the suspension and all of the bits and pieces, just absolutely fantastic. 8, 9, 10. We'll quickly melt some wood down and turn it all into biofuel. So we can load the tractor up. We'll build the truck station, check that out very quickly, jump in the tractor, head back up to our watchtower so we can have a bit of a look at everything we've got, and then we'll wrap it up. Cool. That is interesting. So, I'm guessing they're just like feed-in points. Let's place it there and have a look. So, configure truck station. Fuel. Unloading, loading. Okay, so I guess you'd put one, say, down here. And I'm guessing these are conveyor belt. Yeah, they are. They're conveyor belt intakes. So we could load all of the rods and all of the plates into the truck station here. Put a whole bunch of fuel in it. Set it to loading. And then this thing here would come over and we'd put one up back up at our normal base. Set it to unloading. And then from there, set up auto pathing for the little tractor thing here that we've got. And it would just bring all of these resources down here back to us. It's so cool. It's very, very cool. Go for a hoon around here. We'll see if we can sneak up the cliff there back to our watchtower. Get some speed up. That's incredible. 50 kilometers per hour. It burns through the fuel though. We're at 69, 68, 67. Yeah. Every few seconds there. It's definitely burning a lot faster in the tractor than it is in the power plants at our base. So. No, that's been quite an enjoyable experience, having a bit of a bash at this in the closed alpha weekend. And I think that's everything that we wanted to do except for checking out the assembly plant, but we get the idea of what that is. It's essentially just the constructors there with the ability to use multiple items rather than one. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Terrorconn Gaming. You can also check us out on Facebook for your chance to win some free games and for your calling card to join in to make some future content with myself and some of the other people of Terrorconn Gaming. You can find links in the description to our Facebook page, so check us out there and throw us a like. I'll also be putting links in the description to a website called the Humble Bundle. Some of you have heard of it before, but for those who haven't, there's a few videos on my channel that I've made in partnership with the Humble Bundle. They've got some great bundles of games for a pretty low price, with some of the proceedings of those sales going to charity, which is absolutely awesome. The bundles rotate every 2 to 3 weeks. We're not entirely sure what the games are in these bundles when they're released every couple of weeks, but they're just either random games from publishers. They do bundles such as indie bundles or bundles specific from Ubisoft or Paradox or the likes. They don't only just do game bundles too, they do comic bundles, ebook bundles and assets as well for people that are wanting to do their own game development. You can get some assets there for pretty good prices too. So check them out. Thanks everybody for watching. I am Terrorconn and you've been watching Terrorconn Gaming. This has been the mini-series on Satisfactory during the closed alpha weekend. We'll be looking at playing this when it goes into its early access later on this month. Thanks everybody for watching, and as always, have a good one.